If you haven't heard about Anchor, it is the easiest way to start your podcast. Let me explain why. It's free. There are creation tools in the app that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. All right. I don't know why I'm going with that today, but I'm saying all right because it's all right in the end. And this is episode 16 of Mind Bacon. Thank you for listening. It's going to be a good one today. It's always going to be a good day, no matter what. It's been an off week for me. It's been up and down. It's been different. There's always good and there's always bad, and there's always going to be weeks like this. So, it's been good though. It's been good. I'm having an interesting day because I woke up at 7, which I never do. And the main reason is because I had to pee. And the annoying thing about it was I went back into bed, but I couldn't fall back asleep. And I think it's because I made the dangerous decision to go on my phone. And usually when that happens, I'm scrolling Instagram. I know I'm like half asleep. I'm like, dude, I just like, I'm not awake. I'm totally zombie at that point. I'm totally zombie. And for some reason, I'm doing that, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever it is, and then it's like 8 o'clock, 8:30 all of a sudden. And I'm like, okay, I guess, why don't I just stay up? Why don't I just like stay up, try to hang in there until 9 o'clock. I can have a little bit of caffeine, which I didn't. I usually don't. Like, the most caffeine I'll have is like the little teas, because they have like, it has like 10% of 10% of the caffeine in actual coffee or something like that. I think it's like 10 or 15% of the caffeine in a 16-ounce coffee or some bullshit like that. So it's like not that much. I think it's just like a mind game, because if I drink that, I'm like, oh, cool, it's got like a little bit of caffeine, and I think it wakes me up. But usually water always does the trick. Water is great. I've talked about that in the podcast before, how like water cures all. Water is the answer to life. Boy, am I getting deep. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, even though I tried to be productive, I tried to start my day early, which it was going well. I did my shower. I got my shake. I was feeling good. I started my day with an episode of The Office, so you can't really go wrong there. And I usually wear a blanket when I do this, because if I'm like starting my day with like a little, breakfast, which in this case was like a shake, so it makes me a little cold. So I usually wear a blanket. But then after I finished my shake, I was still chilling. I was like, well, I'll just wait for the episode to end. And then Netflix does this thing where it just keeps going. An episode will end and it ends, and then you see the little slidey bar at the bottom, and it says next episode, and the bar just kind of, and it's going and going and going, and then so you're just looking and you're just like, I guess it's just gonna play the next one, and then it plays the next one, and you're still sitting there. You haven't even touched anything, and it just did that for you. So you're just like, okay. I guess we're going. At least in like the DVD times, like it would still like roll the credits. So you still had time to be like, oh, let me just get the remote and let me just turn it off. But nah, dude, it doesn't even finish the credits, dude. It starts at the end of the episode, it just starts sliding, and it's just going and going, and you're watching it, and you go, oh, it's just going to be the next episode, I guess, and then there you are. So, long story short, at this point, it's probably like 9:30 in the morning, and the next episode's going, and I feel myself start to crash, which I knew was going to happen, dude. I had a late night, so I fell asleep, and I woke up, and like my glasses were digging into my eyes. That's never like fun when you fall asleep with your glasses on, and then like just kind of woke up. It must have been, I should look into it, but it must have been a couple episodes. So at least here's what it was. I probably fell asleep at like 9:45, and I woke up at like 11, and now it's about 12. But yeah. So that was, so that's why it was an interesting day. It was an interesting start so far, but we're getting there. And I'm drinking plenty of water, man. I started drinking again out of this guy. This is my canister. I don't know what to call it. A thermos? No, I think not that, but it's like it's a big fucking water cup. That's what we'll call it. And, so that's good. I think it's 60 something fluid ounces or some bullshit. I'm probably wrong. Or I don't know. Maybe it might be towards 80. I don't know. I remember like last year or a couple years ago, I started to get like really obsessed about water, and cuz I think everybody gets to that point where they're like, oh, I don't think I'm drinking enough water. But in my mind, I have to drink the amount of water that I should drink. So I go right to the fucking research. I look it up, and I go, okay, how much water should I be drinking every day? And if you type that in, how much water should you drink in a day? This is what comes up. So an adequate daily fluid intake is about 15.5 cups, but that's 3.7 liters. And that's for men. It's different for men and women, huh? 3.7 liters for men, 2.7 liters for women. So basically, that's not exactly what I remember, because what I remember is hearing that you should drink half your weight in fluid ounces. So when I did that math, I was like, okay, I should be doing about 80 to 90, right? Fluid ounces. No, 80. What the hell is half my freaking weight? Yeah, about 80, 85, I think. I haven't weighed myself in a long time either, so it could be more or less. Who knows? And so I started obsessing over that, and I go, oh, I got to get like this number. So that's why that's probably an 80 fluid ounce cup, bottle, whatever the fuck you want to call it, dude. I don't know what do you call that? Container? Certainly not a jar. Whatever it is, it has a lot of freaking water in it, and I've already drank. I already drank half of it, because that's another part of my routine. I'm not going to bore you with my routine. Why would I do that when I could talk about what I watched last night? And what I watched last night was the first presidential debate. And here's the deal. Straight up, I am never going to talk politics on this podcast. I never have. I never am. I never will be talking about politics. Usually I don't even talk politics in my real life. I don't, I have my opinions, and I shouldn't even go there. I shouldn't even say that, right? I don't even know. I'm not going to talk politics because that is some crazy shit. And that was a shit show. That's all I know. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say about last night. I watched it straight up because at lunchtime, I was on TikTok. I'm usually on TikTok. And I saw a video of someone, and the caption was like, oh, this is what like tonight's debate's going to be like. And I'm like, oh, shit, there's a debate tonight. And I go, oh, yeah, I'm going to watch that. And so I did. And this is what I'm going to say about it. I'm going to keep it to this. It was, I don't even know if I should say this. It was a shit show. And it was good entertainment. And that's the main reason I watched it. It was good entertainment. It was good, solid entertainment. And I'll leave it at this. This is what I'm going to leave it at. Okay? Remember that time that Joe Biden said that he's in love with his sister? But also remember the time that Trump said, grab him by the poos. That's all I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to leave it at. That's how I feel. Okay? Remember Joe Biden said he was in love with his sister. He goes, I have a sister and she's love my life. And you're just watching and you just go, what? What? And then that's what I'm going to leave it at. Right there. Next topic. And I don't even know where I was going to go with this podcast today, but for some reason I remembered the other day, I remembered this story about this underground, this is what I'm going to call it. It was an underground birthday party gig. I wonder if I'm choosing the right words. It was an underground birthday party gig. Let me break it down, man. Because I'm gonna try to explain what this experience was like. So this is when I was doing like more DJing and stuff. So usually I was just looking for pretty much any gig I could get. If it was paying good, usually I was like, yeah, sure, I'm down. Because like, what the hell, I'll play some music. I don't really do that anymore. But basically, there was this girl who was having a birthday party. And she was probably, at the time, I was probably 21. And she was probably 25 or 26. Which, hey, don't really have a birthday party. I can't remember the last time I had a birthday party. Last birthday party I probably had was when I was like 20. And my mom was cool. And she got me a Breaking Bad cake. So that was sick. But other than that, I'm going to be 25, dude. And I'm just like not going to have a birthday party. Because I don't give a shit and nobody else does either. You know what I mean? But yeah, she was having a birthday party. I think it's just an excuse to do drugs, really. Oh, my birthday's coming up. Time to do some fucking drugs. So there's that. And that doesn't even begin to chip into the ice block of a fucking situation that this was. I don't know why this popped in my head the other day, but it was probably June or July. I remember it was like summertime, but yeah, she goes, yeah, a bunch of DJs are going to be there. So it's going to be like a good time. And I go, oh, that's sick. And there was some other DJs that were friends of mine. And I was like, oh, that's great. It's going to be like a free for all. It's going to be like a lineup. That's cool. I get like an hour or whatever. The way she was working it was going to start at 10 o'clock at night maybe. Dude, I wish I had the line. Dude, if I find a copy of the like the times and the lineup, that'd be so fantastic. But I remember it was really late. I remember it was a pretty late start. She said, yeah, like 10 o'clock. My slot could have been, I don't really remember, but it could have been like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, or 1, like somewhere in there. Because her plan was to pull an all-nighter. Her plan was to start late at night, 10 or so, and because by the time I showed up, it was probably 10 or 11, and there was a bunch of people there. So, it was starting around there, and then her plan was to have it go until like 8 in the morning or something like that, or like 9 or something dumb. I'm like, okay. But I said, I'm going to leave before 2 o'clock in the morning. Because if I'm out by 2, that's fine. I can be home by, like 3 or whatever. It wasn't like an hour. It was almost an hour away. So, also, How I Met Your Mother said that nothing good happens after 2 o'clock in the morning, after 2 a.m. So that's what I kind of go by. I'm usually like 2 a.m. What was that noise that just came out of me? Anyway, so that was it for me. So when she said, okay, yeah, you can do like I forget what my time slot was, but it was like 11, whatever. And my other friend, I think I had a couple DJ friends, but this other friend had gotten like, she'd gotten like the 5 or 6 a.m. spot, and everyone was confused. My friend, she goes, yeah, but so I should be there at like 6? I should get there at like 6 at night? I'm like, no. Like, I think she's saying that like she's going overnight. Like, that's 6 in the morning. And she's like, dude, I'm not doing that. Like, no one wanted to do that. And I was just like, yeah, I can't blame you. She probably got out early too. Like, she probably went on after me or something. I don't know. But it was interesting. Did I mention it was a basement? Because it was. It was a basement. And so when I got there, so the girl whose birthday it was, I kind of knew her, but I also kind of didn't. Yeah, I'm just thinking it was, how weird it was, and because I didn't really know a lot of people there. So I'm usually like sober. I showed up sober, obviously. And then I'm all just about kind of the work. I think I'd already been paid at that point. I show up. She's lucky I showed up. I just go right to the DJ booth, because it was like this super high table, and I brought my own deck, but they had DJ decks there, and I think I was doing my own thing. This was like when I was early into like DJing. So, but I know I'm probably losing some people at this point, but I just remember setting up, being real serious. I was like, yeah, dude, my time is on it. I'm on it in like half an hour or whatever. And other people just don't give a shit. Other people are just like way, way high on life or God knows what. And like, and just, no one really cares. And it's just so weird to me. Like, I'm just like, oh, I'm supposed to go on at this time, but like, who gives a shit? Like, I know no one gives a shit, and I shouldn't either, but that's why. So it was all work. I was just like, yeah, this is like a working, like a paying gig, but like, it was a bunch of her friends too, or whatever. And I brought Greg. He'll remember this. I know he's listening. So if you're listening, Greg, or at least next time that you're on the podcast, we should talk about, or just, I hope I'm getting everything right. But I remember we were hanging out, or I was just hanging out with Greg. I could have brought someone else too. I could have swore I brought someone else, not just Greg. I remember bringing at least someone, because I was like, dude, I've never been here before, and I just need some backup, I think. because once again, I can't stress enough how awkward and weird and dark it was in there. And there were 2 rooms. So there was like the DJ room where there was not a lot happening. It felt like a garage almost. And then there was like a separate, you go through like this door. There was a separate room where like everybody was partying, and I'll get into that too. But yeah, and then the speakers are kind of, so they have speakers in the DJ room, but the speakers are also like the music's being fed into the other room. I remember that. And Greg and I remember at one point Greg and I were chilling on there was a couch in there. It was just pretty sweaty. Everyone was kind of close together. People were just kind of gross. We didn't really know anybody there, but I could have swore like we were talking to some guys. It was just all weird. And then I just remember this other guy that wasn't saying like a word. This one guy. And he just goes around the room. Like I was kind of looking at him a little bit. I remember that. I remember him being like, I was like, because, you know, that's like everybody in the room. I'm just checking it out. I love people watching sometimes. Like, especially like this situation. Like if I'm just at a party, I'm just looking around and be like, everyone's kind of doing their own thing. But this kid, I remember he wouldn't say a word, but I must have been hanging out near the birthday girl or one of her friends, and the same kid comes up. I don't know if Greg was around me at this point. I can't really remember. And I'm not saying I don't remember because like I wasn't on it. I was sober the whole entire time. It was just like 4 years ago. But all he does is he comes up and he goes like this. He goes like points towards his nose, and like even the girl's like, what? Like I don't have that. I don't have those drugs. And the kid just said one word the whole time. And the one word was poppers. And I go, And she goes, oh, yeah, over there. I don't think I saw any like coke. But I saw the like people were doing like poppers, but people were also doing these balloons of nitrous oxide, I'm pretty sure. And I just didn't get it. I just go, Like I saw them doing it, like it was kind of across the room. And there I am, I'm just waiting to like DJ. Like I said, I'm sober. I don't do any of this shit. At the most, I'll drink, but I don't remember there being beer or anything. So I just sat there with Greg. I'm pretty sure. I swear we brought someone else. But I saw it over there, and I just thought it was just weird. I was just like, But when I think about it now, that's like the fucking grossest thing. Or not even like, I feel like that's dumb. And this is coming from like a guy who like doesn't do anything. So like, yeah, like whatever. But when I think about it, I'm like, I don't, get it. Because I think the risk factor on that is like way higher than getting higher. I don't know. Because you can get like an air bubble stuck in your lung or something. And then poppers. I don't really get poppers. But I know you fucking inhale that shit. I'm just so straight edge. I hate saying I'm straight edge. I'm not even straight edge. I'm just like, it just doesn't seem fun to me. It just seems like whack. I'm just like, that's dumb. I don't know. And then I could also get like, whatchamacallit, I could also get really I don't know what the right word is, but I could also say that that's kind of just like a waste of life. Isn't that like that's I don't know. I don't know what the right word is for that. I just feel like I'm being lame when I say that, but that's when like if you look back at the bigger picture, that's what I like. It's lame, but I think about that. I'm just like, that's just kind of a waste of life. But anywho, I feel like that got dark real quick. Is it just me? Maybe it was just me. We're gonna take a quick break, with an ad, and we'll be right back. Hey, are you registered to vote? More than 60% of eligible voters have never been asked to register. Headcount.org is working to change that. Headcount is a nonpartisan organization that works with the music and entertainment industry to get fans to vote. To update or check your voter registration status, go to headcount.org, where you'll find all the information you need to be ready for Election Day. You can also request an absentee ballot, get info on early voting, find your polling place, or see what's on your ballot. Register to vote at headcount.org. That's headcount.org. Nice. That's some nice H2O. I gotta watch Waterboy again. There was this documentary that I saw on Netflix today that I am going to watch today. It was on so it was on Netflix, and it was like, I've seen this story before, and I know I've talked about this is gonna sound whack, but I've talked about murder on the podcast before. But this was a story that I've seen before. It was this dude who like killed his wife and his 2 kids, and he buried them like where he worked. I'm butchering it so much, but the fact is that I've only really seen I haven't seen much. Like I've just seen different videos about it, but now there's an official documentary about it, and that shit gets me just so hyped. What the heck was it called? I'm gonna here's the dark drug category. It's not drugs though. But speaking of that, I want to watch I got to get back into Drug Inc. at some point. All I remember about Drug Inc. was when I started the show, the first episode was, I think it was somewhere in California. It could have been I don't know. I can't say. I don't know where it would have been, but it was just the weekend. Like it just opened up, like no warning. It opened up with like the morgue, and like, man, this is a dark fucking episode. I'm so dark. And it opened up with the morgue and like dead people, and I'll stop talking about this in a second, and then it just went to this guy. He was like, yep, this is just the weekend, but it was like a room of like, God, it was probably 20 bodies, and they were like, yep, this is just the weekend, drug overdose. And I'm like, damn. Dude, I can't even remember. I'm going to type in the words American Murder. Yes! Dude, that's what it's called. It's just called American Murder. Yes! The Family Next Door. That's what happened. So this is how it's described. Using raw firsthand footage, this documentary examines the disappearance of Shannon Watts, right? And her children, and the terrible events that followed. This asshole, this degenerate, Chris? It's a good name for a degenerate. He killed his wife and his daughters. Yeah, there they are. And it was like, I remember seeing shit on Facebook of like the ring, like the security camera footage. Oh man. And the guy was like cheating. Man, what a piece of shit. Holy crap. It says, dude, and this popped up on my homepage, and this was right before I was going to watch The Office this morning, which, by the way, I'm watching The Office for a couple reasons. A, I finished Sunny in Philadelphia. B, you can't watch The Office too many times. C, they're gonna take The Office off Netflix. I'm pretty sure at the end of the year, I think, because of NBC and their streaming platform or something. That's all I know. Dude, don't quote me. And I started listening to The Office, the Oral History of The Office podcast with the dude who plays Kevin Malone. It's only 12 episodes, and I'm 2 episodes in, and it's really good. And it does make watching The Office like a little bit better. Like, it's just a little cooler because I have already seen The Office like 19 times. I'm gonna make it 20, but hey, it's cool, because that is like the crazy thing about that show is that you literally pick up something new every single time. Like you can say the same thing about Breaking Bad, but like there is a lot more of The Office, and it's just crazy how much more. Like, it's just absolutely crazy, the whole thing. But man, American Murder. I was just on Netflix about to pop on The Office, and I saw this thing pop up. But those 2 words, it popped up, American Murder, and I look at that and I go, ooh. And then I clicked on it and I was like, oh my gosh, it's the thing about that asshole. And it's an hour 20. I'm so pumped. I also love the Aaron Hernandez stuff, because that stuff is crazy. I can't remember how much I talked about this on the other podcast. If you're curious, I think it was episode 10. I talked a lot about like murder and like the murder mysteries, and like I had just watched the Zodiac Killer, and the movie was okay, but I learned about the Zodiac Killer, and that shit's crazy. And but I don't know if I ever talked about the Aaron Hernandez stuff, because it hits a little deeper with like me, because it is so close in Massachusetts. It's my team, and not to mention my sister met the dude like before he got arrested. Like, so he was probably, cracking necks and popping. I don't know. I can't think of anything cool to say, but he was killing people basically. And then he met my sister, and my sister was working at some place in the mall, like a clothing store, and I guess Aaron Hernandez walked in, and I guess the dudes that worked there, they were like, "Oh shit, guys!" Or there was a bunch of like, and my sister was just like, "What the heck's going on? What do you mean? What? Who is that?" And I guess they were just like, "You don't know who that's Aaron Hernandez on the Patriots." And my sister goes, "Oh shit!" And I guess gets a picture taken with him. And I say this every single time. If you look at that picture, it looks like one of those pictures that you would use in like a murder documentary. Like, it would zoom in at that moment and say, Aaron was a frequent shopper at Ralph Lauren, or wherever the fuck she was working. And, or no, it would zoom in and say like, and it would be someone else talking. It'd be like his mom or something. Like, it would be zooming in, and just like his mom is like, I don't know. He seemed troubled at some points. Like, it just like zooms in, like the Ken Burns kind of thing. Nice. Other than that, I wanted to make sure that I talk about the exciting week I had last week, because I not only launched my record label this month, but last week I released a new song with Emilia Ali called "Be Him for Her." It's one of my favorite CHYLD tunes that I've done, and I've always wanted to work with Emilia, and so it was so cool working with her. She was very chill. I'm just never gonna stop talking her up, because she's just like the coolest. So last week's episode of Mind Bacon, actually, I had her on, and we talked a little bit about Boston and music and artistic creativity and all that music stuff. But she's great. She's so talented, dude. And my song with her came out last week. So if you haven't checked it out, make sure you do. It's available on, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, iTunes, Google, Amazon, Tidal, I don't know, everywhere, basically. TikTok. And yeah, and the record label is a new challenge for sure. But it's a good one. It's a fun one, and it's there's a couple reasons why I did my own record label. God, I can't stop burping. But basically, I not only wanted the flexibility and the freedom. Like, I definitely have more flexibility. I'm not saying so with the record label that I was on before, they're awesome. I stay in touch with them. I talk to them all the time. There's one dude in particular. I mean, my man Brian. He's the man, you know? We talk all the time. I even told him, I go, dude, I'm loving releasing stuff with you guys. And but I just want you to know, like, I want to start my own thing, and I don't want there to be I don't want to burn any bridges. I don't want there to be any hard feelings. And he goes, dude, whenever you're fucking launching that record label, I got you. I'm full support. I got you the whole way. And I'm thinking, you don't have to do that. That's crazy, right? He's just the man. He's a really good friend, and he's good at what he does, and so he's been a great supporter of it too. And then the other reason is just to have something that, because CHYLD, I don't know if CHYLD's going to be forever. You never know with like artistic, like artistically with like music projects and stuff. I think a record label is one thing, like, in a way that, like, that you can kind of keep it consistent. You can always morph that into something else, but I think artistically the music projects can always change. And the other reason is, if I have a way to help other artists, if I have a way to help other musicians, other singers, other songwriters, if I have a platform for that, if I have a way to support all of my amazing friends, I swear I make a handful of new friends every week. It's amazing how many people are creating art and sharing it. It's all beautiful, and it's so amazing as well how supportive everybody is. We're all a big family, and we need to keep it that way. So if there's anything that I can do to keep it that way, then I'm gonna do everything I can. I'm gonna go out of my way in that, because there's always music to make. There's always music to write. There's always, that's, everybody is creating art. That's clear to me now, and it's amazing. But, if we can, if you have the opportunity to support, the extra mile, and say, yeah, I'm supporting you, but what else can we do to change the game, and I think that's another reason why I wanted to start Sleepy Kid Records. I think I just love all the art too, and I'm not saying, I'm definitely not ready to release any other music other than my own right now, because it needs time to grow. Just like the podcast, everything just needs time to grow, and that's fine. Dude, I had such a weird dream last night, to go completely off topic, but to wrap that up, I just wanted to say that, that everything's going well, and I hope I can support all of my friends as much as I possibly can. But yeah, my weird dream, because I just remembered, because talking about growing, and like, I don't expect anything to blow up overnight. I don't think I think 9 times out of 10, that's not how it works. I'll think about Post Malone a lot because that is a situation where he really struggled, I think. I could also be talking out of my ass, but I think he really is a hardworking, really talented dude who always talks about how he was living in his friend's closet, and that's how you do it. I couldn't even do. I mean, if I wanted to be like, you know what, I want to go to LA, I could go live in some dude's closet. But you know, there's there's 1,000 different paths you can take, but I guess I should do more research on this too. But when he released his album on SoundCloud, you know, it was White Iverson or something, and it blew up maybe a little bit overnight, and then probably that week of the release, it went berserk, I guess. But I think my dog's about to bark. Nope. Okay. But where was I going with that? Yeah. Just going on like things like blowing up. That's crazy to me. But I had a dream because I posted a TikTok yesterday, and it was doing okay. And then in my dream, it got like 100,000 likes, something like that. I was like, in my dream, I was like, huh, so this TikTok bullshit actually works or something like that. And in the dream, it was like 100K. But when I woke up, I was like, oh shit. I looked at TikTok. I was like, was that a dream? I can't remember. Was that, or was I just tired? And I looked at my TikTok, and it was still like, it was like 1,200 views still. So I was like, oh, so that part was true. So I was remembering some of it. I was remembering watching, I don't know if you heard that, but my dog just went, ah. I remember watching TV last night. It went like 200, 500, 700, like 1,000. I was like, huh. So that's probably why I had the dream that it just like kept on climbing, because I fell asleep shortly after. I don't know. But other than that, life is good. Life is grand. So I'm going to wrap up and say that you should check out my new single, Be Him for Her, with Emilia Ali. Just came out last week. It's out everywhere. And that I'm always releasing new clothing on sleepykidrecords.com. That'll get kind of more organized too down the road, but right now we have a couple new masks out. We have some new hats. Nothing too crazy, but I'll make more announcements, posts, all that good stuff. And for now, while my dog barks her fucking guts out, make sure to check out Mind Bacon every single Thursday. So that means I'll see you next Thursday. Maybe with a guest, maybe not. I don't know. But stay positive. Stay productive. I'm trying to talk in between my dogs barking. And do you, my babies. I love you. I'll see you next week.
Hey, child.